Today I'm sat in my living room and I'm going to do a little demo of some puppy drawings that I've made of my little dog, Stella. And I'm going to be using the Sakurakoi watercolor set along with white gouache. I've been doing some little illustrations like this past Christmas, and I really like this combination. And I think it's a great little travel gouache kit as well. I'll show you more about what I mean. Anyhow, if you're interested in seeing some little puppy paintings, stick around. So these are two examples of little illustrations that I painted with the sakurakoi and white gouache combination. I really like how they turned out, and I got this set of paints last year for Christmas from my husband, and it was my first time trying Japanese style watercolors, and I must say I really like them. They're much more chalky and very liftable, but you can get this kind of very clear color lay, and what I mean is you get a nice flat color, and if you use them opaquely you can get this kind of gouache effect, and that's the way I'm going to use them today. So yeah, here's a couple examples. That's a little bit more like straightforward, and this one's a little bit more painterly, but I am a big fan of how these two things play together. So let's see what we can do today. I had left this page out for a couple of days and it's covered in dust, and I'm very annoyed. Learn from my mistake. We have an old Victorian home, and one of the things that I really like that came with the house was this clawfoot. Well, it's not really clawfoot, but this kind of old style bathtub. And that's where Stella has her bath usually. If you say that word around her though, she'll have a panic attack. I'm not really sure what I was planning with color, so I'm just laying in some color, but you could always work with this a little thicker and get more painterly strokes, work more like gouache. But the option is also there to paint a little bit more translucent. But then you will reactivate the paints. These reactivate very easily and they lift very easily, so you have to keep that in mind. I might end up having to repaint these little bubble highlights because I don't know if they're in the right spots right now. I don't know if they're all going in the same direction. This is a new paper for me. I bought it because I usually use cold press watercolor paper, but I thought if I wanted to do some more wash paintings that maybe I would want to try it on some hot press paper because it's smoother. In case you didn't know, there's less texture to the surface of the paper, so I thought it would be better for laying down flatter paint applications. I don't know how I feel about it yet. It's been a long time. I think like pretty soon after I discovered watercolor paints and just water media in general, I kind of gravitated towards the rougher surface, and I always stuck to it. But I have a feeling that in animation school I did use smooth paper, like hot press. These bubbles are kind of swampy green, but I kind of like that. Doesn't really make sense for a bubble bath, but just gonna go and thicken here. See how that goes. I think that's what I was aiming for. Well, so far, the surface of this paper is not really holding up. It seems to be getting abused already, and this is only my second pass, so I'm a little disappointed. And it was kind of expensive. I'll have to check what it was called. I think it's like the heritage version of Canson, which is strange because I have like other Canson sketchbooks that are really cheap, and I don't feel like, oh, there's like pilling there already. I don't know, maybe it's the nature of the hot press, and maybe I should have let that dry longer. I'm not sure what kind of look I want to get out of this. It's kind of an experiment. Instead of using pencil crayon, which I usually do, for some of those little paintings that I showed you, it was all done with the white gouache and the paint. And the one kind of maybe tip or recommendation I can give, if you are wanting to use this more like gouache, just keep in mind how much water you're adding. You're going to want to add a lot less water. Don't use your detailed brush to pick up the paint directly from the pen, because these are kind of hard. You're probably going to wreck your brush. I kind of like those pencil lines to show a little bit. So I was sort of mimicking that with the paint and the other ones that I did, sort of like going outside the border a little bit. So here's the final little illustration. I think it turned out kind of cute. It was a bit of an experiment for me. I was testing something out, but I also just wanted to recommend you guys this combination because I know that this is a set that is widely available. If this was helpful to you, or if you have any suggestions or recommendations on what you'd like to see in more detail, let me know in the comments below. And thanks for dropping in. I have a puppy to go take outside, and have a good day, guys.